Hello, my name is Michelle Puzzo, and welcome to Your Community Reach. I'm the Executive Director of Your Community Cares. We're based in Manchester, but we're a nonprofit that serves the entire state of Connecticut, helping older adults and people with disabilities get better connected to resources in the community and in their homes. So today we're here with Richard Zaremba. I had the opportunity to meet Richard last year. Our organization moved into Eastside Neighborhood Resource Center. And every morning you would be greeting the children at the bus stop, and I finally got to say hello. And he greets me every day with a smile, and I get to hear his interactions with the students and all the other passerbyers in the neighborhood. And so we really did hit it off, and it's been an amazing journey to see the neighborhood. So we're right at the corner of Florence and Spruce Street, right? So we've had a lot of change in the last year. There's a lot of building changes and park changes, and so we get to chit chat about all that fun stuff, and you get to come into our tech center and talk about the neighborhood. And so it's been a lot of fun. So thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me, Michelle. It's a pleasure.
I've learned so much about your history. You're a retired school teacher, and now after retirement, you're just continuing to give back to students. So why don't you fill our audience in a little bit more about your history?
Okay, well, I was brought up and raised in the Fairfield County of Connecticut. Went to college, got a degree in horticulture, became a science teacher, and during that time I also had a landscaping business. Plus, I was an exchange student in Poland, and that was quite an experience. It was during communist times, actually, in the 70s.
So what did you do in Poland?
Well, since I was an exchange student and I studied horticulture at the University of Connecticut, it was a program that was horticulturally orientated. So I did some experiments there in the field that I was studying. Plus, I was able to visit actually family members that I never met before.
Nice. Well, I know that you had a green thumb because we've done some gardening behind Eastside Neighborhood Resource Center, the community garden. So you've come in this last year and we planted some bulbs. I have no idea even what we planted because you took over the class, and it was fabulous. So what did we plant?
Well, it was enjoyable for me too, because it was part of the nature that I have. Spring flowering bulbs, tulips, hyacinths, daffodils. Yeah, and we had a number of participants in it, and they got really down to earth, so to speak.
Definitely. So besides your green thumb, I know you had traveled a bit, and you saw, right behind us is this huge banner. So could you start with telling us how this all started for you?
Yeah, well, I could say that it started with a trip that I took, a road trip, about four or 5 years ago, down through various states, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York State. And as I was traveling through some of these small towns, I noticed on light posts banners, as you had just mentioned here, and I thought, wow, that's a really nice tribute for veterans, basically World War II, Korea, say Vietnam. And actually, when I was in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, there was even one Civil War one, which I was, photography was at its beginning stages at that time, and they had somebody from there. So when I came back to Connecticut, I was not aware that any place in Connecticut had it until I read a newspaper article about a young girl in South Windsor, Mahika Josie, who actually started it when she was about 10 years old. And it was prior to, just right around COVID time. She's already into her 6th or 7th year. So I was able to contact her father and her, and they had helped me to try to bring it into Manchester, because one of her goals was to spread it to other towns. So we were fortunate in Manchester that it was very well received. We had to go through some avenues, obviously committees and whatever, but it was greatly received. Their former mayor and our mayor, Jay Moran, got together with myself. I proposed it, and then it went to different committees. So.
But let's back up just a little bit. So it's a concept, right? They already started this in South Windsor, but what's the planning process? If another town was interested in doing this, what's the model? How do you find the veterans? How does this all happen?
Very interesting. Since it was my first year in doing it, I took a lot of example from what South Windsor was doing. So some of the veterans I just met from at a store or whatever, and usually they would wear, a cap indicating that. But I knew women were out there too, so that was an element that, but once it started rolling, sort of like the ball rolling, and that one told another and another, and that was the first year. And actually the first year we honored 29 veterans. So also a veterans group gave us so many names too, to add to that. And then I met a number of myself, and also through the senior center that's there. And then nursing homes too. So that's how it kind of started the first year, and even the second too.
So you were doing the outreach to find the people that you wanted to be placed on the banner.
Correct.
Is there an application or?
Well, we do have a formal application.
Okay.
And hopefully it's you're going to be, shown the contact, that people have. But there is a committee in Manchester. It's the Manchester Veterans Committee that could be contacted, and names could be nominated. So the various veteran groups could submit the names, and then also my encounter in the community, and I've been living here for a number of years, I just submit also names. We're trying to get World War II that are very few in number, but they are out there, and Korean, same, and also Vietnam. And then it kind of has branched to other conflicts that we've been involved in.
Okay, so if anyone out there knows of veterans that is a Manchester resident and has not yet been nominated or on a banner at this time, then please reach out to the veterans. You can go onto their website, onto the Veterans Committee, and you can nominate. Or is there any other ways that people can nominate, or is that the best way?
That's probably the best way, to do that, to go to the website that you.
So,
it's on there on the screen.
So once the people get nominated, what's the next step?
Well, it's evolved to making sure. First of all, we have about 30 spots that we can per year.
30 light poles?
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, we share that with the town. The town also has businesses that have, but we can actually go even to the max of about 33. 2 years ago, we also honored the 14 deceased Vietnam veterans that were Manchester residents. So they were added on, and they were the ones that were also on the healing wall that came. That was in Manchester at Charter Oak Park. That was here for a good number of days in September of last year.
So the person gets nominated, and then you get a photo.
Oh yes, yeah, definitely. We have a form where obviously they have their name, their rank, the military service, a photo, preferably in uniform of the time, although every once in a while we'll have more of an updated one because either it can't be found or the family prefers to have a remembrance of that person more present time. But the majority of them, as the photo, as the banner shows here, are the times that they had served.
So tell me about the banner. How do you?
Okay, well,
You
this,
didn't make this, did you?
no, no, no. We,
Okay.
we have a vendor. Actually, what's very interesting, Michelle, is that we have a vendor who is a veteran and has hired 12 veterans who work for his company.
Fantastic.
It's made in the United States, and the format that you see here is a little different than the one we had the first 2 years. The width is 2 feet, the length is 5, and as you can see, Town of Manchester honors. So each town that has honored them would have the name of their town, then obviously the name, United States Army Air Corps, the year that the person served, World War II, and he was a Purple Heart recipient too. And then we have sponsors. So the sponsors' names could be placed here. Some of the sponsors don't want to be acknowledged, so what we do is we'll put down a grateful community, because we are grateful for the service of the veterans. So there's no cost at all to the veterans. So either businesses, private enterprises, scout groups have sponsored veterans. They'll either submit the name that they would want to have honored, and we take that in consideration as long as all the criteria, is met. And it's put up by the town. We're fortunate that the town, in cooperation with us, not only has accepted this, but also it's their responsibility to put it up, usually a couple weeks before Memorial Day. And then our town is special, where we don't take it down after Veterans Day, but we keep it up almost till the next Memorial Day, where the new ones are. So almost a whole year, these are displayed up and down Main Street, which is, again, showing the town's tribute and honor for the veterans.
We love this town. This town does so much between giving back to nonprofits, to honoring veterans. I mean, this is an amazing town, and happy that we're both residents of this town, work in this town, the town of Manchester. So if you go up and down Main Street, you will be able to see all the banners that are there from this year. And you can go and put in an application for people that might want to get involved next year.
And just to let you know, also in the past 3 years, we've honored 93 veterans.
Wow.
Just here in Manchester. And
so how do the veterans react? Do you have an opportunity for the veterans to then see the banners before they get hung up?
yes, actually, thank you for asking that. And it was suggested by Mahika and Mr. Josie. Again, we did not try to reinvent the wheel. So for the past 3 years, about several weeks prior to the banners going up, we have a program, and Manchester Library has been very gracious in letting us use Whiten Library. So we send out a notice to the veterans that are being honored, their family members, also any sponsors, and then invited guests that we might have. The mayor usually comes with some board of directors and that. And we have them displayed for about a 2-hour period of time. There's sometimes news coverage. The Journal has covered for the past, for 2 years they've covered. And we have a little bit of an introduction, about 5-10 minutes or so. We say the pledge. I give a little bit of a talk about the history of it, and then basically we just let the people mingle. They're all in alphabetical order. And they're placed at a ground level, because once they go up at least 10-15 feet, it's a little bit difficult to maybe take a picture with yourself or family members next to it. So it gives a great opportunity for that. Plus the veterans mingle with each other too. We have some patriotic music. One time we actually had a piano player, Bob Burke, who played all patriotic music, and it was greatly appreciated. And then there I have two volunteers, two women volunteers. One actually we honored the first year, or she said the second year, Ann DeBella, and she organizes it all out. She makes it very clear for individuals, and we even had a scouting group that came and assisted to take them and put them. Actually, we have two of those kind of stands so that they can be put up and people can be closer to it. The veterans take a picture of it. So it's more of a personal type of encounter. And then it is displayed through the town, Public Works, from just before the Memorial Day Parade, which is a big event in Manchester to honor, the veterans.
Yeah, when you first told me about this program, I thought it was amazing, and I had the opportunity to meet Ann, and we took her on our Cycling Without Age, our rickshaw is our Cycling Without Age program. So we take veterans out, we take older adults out, we take people with disabilities out of nursing homes and assisted living facilities, and also in Charter Oak Park. So if anybody wants a ride on our rickshaw, but we're also part of community events, and so being part of Memorial Day Parade, we got to take Ann out, and she, it's not easy to walk the parade route for everybody as they're aging. So we had an opportunity to take her out on the rickshaw on the parade route, and so she loved it. She was able to be, part of the procession, but she didn't have to walk. So thank you for introducing me to Ann. She's a wonderful woman.
And she also appreciated that very much,
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do more events with veterans and use the rickshaw as a way to get them into the event easier,
Marvelous opportunity.
Yeah. So once they come down, does the veteran then receive the banner?
Yes. What South Windsor did again, we didn't really have a playbook of Manchester how to approach it. The business that sponsored could have the opportunity for a period of time to display it in their place of establishment, whether it was a supermarket or say a bank, but the majority go almost immediately back to the veterans. And the crossing guard was a great place where I would actually be able to tell people this is where I am from such and such a time, and they would pick it up. And now the Veterans Committee, the Manchester Veterans Committee, is now responsible for it. Unless I know of some of the veterans personally that I've either nominated or so, then I'll hand deliver it, to them. We had one World War II veteran, God rest her soul, Marie Walsh. She lived to be 102, and it was displayed at her place of residence, Manchester Manor, and then even outside too. So people were able to, to see it outside. And I know another veteran at the senior center. It was displayed for a period of time, Mr. Roy, and so all the seniors that were there, were able to say, "Wow, we didn't know that you were a veteran." So here he is in his uniform and that, and of course, nice conversations occurred, through that.
Well, I'm sure the families are grateful for this.
Oh, very much so.
And they hear so many stories from the veterans themselves. So what kind of feedback have you received from?
Well, actually, thank you for asking. And rather than me saying it, I'd like to read at least one letter, maybe even two. Obviously, it is addressed to me, but it's really in reflection of the whole program. And this is from a World War II veteran family, a daughter. And she says, "Dear Richard, there are no words to explain or express how grateful we are to you for nominating Dad for a banner. I have received comments and even an inquiry how another town can do the same. My niece was so touched she cried. We all still miss him so much. We will be making a pay it forward donation so another family may experience the same." Excuse me. You are an amazing, hardworking, caring person, and we are all blessed to know you. But most of all, you blessed Dad with such joy and friendship the last years of his life. Forever grateful, Gail, Jeff, and all of the Walters family. I knew Walter personally. He lived in the complex where I live, and for me, that was also very, very important to hear how the family, and if you would allow me, I have another.
Well, let's just talk about that for a minute.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Not only are you honoring the veteran, you're actually becoming friends with many of these people and the families of many of these people. So you're that glue for many of these people to retell their stories, because it was probably such a huge part of their lives that they get to be able to share that again with their families and friends. And it's such a great opportunity. Like you said, the networking at the event prior to the banners going up, and being able to take a ride down Main Street to see all the other veterans. I'm sure many people just enjoy this program outside of just, nominating someone. Just to see this whole thing, the whole process sounds amazing. So great job. And I know that you're now working with the Manchester Veterans Committee to kind of hand the baton, right? We all can't be here forever. There needs to be sort of someone else that will help with this whole project, because it's a lot of work. You've got to do the fundraising, right? How much does a banner like this cost? Any idea?
Yes. Well, the first year we had to get brackets. So brackets are ones that are holding.
Yep.
So that added into the cost, which we were asking for $250, but now it's gone down to about 150, 125 or so, because we already have the brackets set, so that's not a cost that has to be incurred.
Okay.
So somewhere around 100, 125 per banner.
So if anybody in our audience is watching and would like to donate to be able to support this effort, they can go to the Manchester Veterans Committee and they can donate there, because there is a cost of all of this, obviously, and we want to be able to support this program that I think is really important. So thank you for the work you're doing. And let's hear, you have another
I do.
story?
It's a little shorter. Actually, this is from a World War II veteran who's still with us in Manchester. He served actually in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. And that's amazing. Just one of those, but all three. So this is from his son. Excuse me. Thank you so much for what you did for our dad and our whole family. You ignited an effort to honor Manchester's veterans, and our dad received world-class treatment as a result. Dad had a great month of May, and we all got together to enjoy it with him. It's a memory none of us will ever forget. Love, the Lynn family. They've invited, actually, Mr. Lynn, Bill Lynn, was for 2 years honorary marshal, parade marshal.
Oh.
So Marie Walsh and both Mr. Lynn rode in vehicles, and they were honored in that fashion.
Awesome.
We had magnetic signs put on the side so that people knew exactly, who they were. And my goal in that was, when family members were viewing them, possibly a parent would say, wow, we're touching history by those people. And usually when I meet these people, or you mentioned how I've gone into some of their homes and interviewed some of them, and that's what I feel. I feel that I am touching history. It's humbling for me, and I've learned so much from them. And as a side note, with Mr. Lynn, when he would tell some of the stories, his two sons who were present, they said, Dad never said that before. We're hearing it
Right.
for the first time,
You get new information.
Right, extrapolates things that, maybe the person was free enough to give an incident or so that occurred.
So South Windsor has it, Manchester, you've built it up. Now, where is it going next?
Okay, we actually have it in East Hartford now.
Really?
Yeah. Again, there are individuals in those towns, and then even Ellington.
You mean there's a group in East Hartford that has talked to you and they've figured
Correct.
out a way to start the model in
Right.
East
So
Hartford?
each town is going to be, it's unique on their approach, how to get the the nominees and probably the donations, for it. And one of the goals of Mahika, who started in South Windsor, and also my dream, which I'm backing off a little bit, but I'm going to try to help other towns, surrounding towns, to bring it. Find those individuals who have a passion to bring it to their town and help them in different steps. So that's what I'm working on, and I've already approached about 5 local towns that surround us for that.
And what's the feedback been?
Well, it's been positive. First of all, they do want to do it. There's some logistics, and actually it does take about at least a year. So they have other events going on, like races and that for veterans. They have to get kind of through that before they would kind of take on something else.
Right.
So the way I look at it, and going back to my horticulture background, I'm trying to cultivate. The seed sometimes takes a while for it to germinate and to plant, and that's okay, So that's more or less my directive in this next phase.
Well, all this goes back to you being a great teacher, right? You're a retired teacher. So you're continuing to teach the community how they can honor veterans in any way that they want to set up this program. There's no, exact science to this. It can be varied. There's 169 towns here in Connecticut. So hopefully many of them will start to take this approach. And so what would you say if we invite people to come down to the corner of Spruce Street and Florence Street between, say, 7:30 and 9 every day? We're there, right? And people could talk to you about setting up this program if they wanted to come down to Manchester. So come to...
Or 2 to 3:30.
Oh, right.
If they're not early risers.
That's right. Well, I thought everybody was an early riser, but you're right. So, but just kidding aside, I mean, there's an opportunity to come down to Manchester and talk with Richard about this program, or you could go on to the Veterans website and check it out there too. So we could talk all day. Let's end by saying, what is the capital of Poland? I forgot.
It's Warsaw.
All right, so he's always teaching me new things. So thank you so much for joining me today, Richard.
And thank you also to Michelle for the opportunity to spread this great program.
Thank you, and thank you for watching Your Community Reach, and we'll see you next time.